G'day, my name's Ryan here at the wonderful Gardens of Heronswood, leading into spring on a somewhat rainy day, here to talk to you guys about companion planting for plant health. Companion planting is a method of growing plants together with the idea that they'll assist each other in some way, like improving growth, attracting beneficial insects, deterring pests and disrupting patterns. One of the benefits of companion planting can be for shade regulation, like using taller corn and beans to help shade your leafy greens for the summer heat, or like these strawberries planted in the shade of rhubarb. Harvest timing is a consideration with companion planting. The use of quick-term crops like lettuces and radishes to fill in gaps where longer-term crops don't need the space as yet. To maximise space, you can use taller plants such as corn and sunflowers to provide a frame for smaller climbing plants like beans. This is exemplified by the three sisters method of growing, which is to grow corn, then the beans climb up the corn, and then a squash like a pumpkin or a zucchini will grow as a ground cover underneath the lot. Having the squash below not only shades the ground, helping stop water loss, but the spiny stems make it very difficult for crawling insects to crawl up to the corn and the beans. And we've talked about the three sisters, and diggers have put together a collection that is a pack of corn, a pack of bean and a pack of cuberat, ideal for starting your own three sisters growing. Some plants make great companions because their roots will grow to different depths, bringing up nutrient not available to shallow-rooted neighbours. Some plants emit chemicals from their roots, either stimulating growth or in some cases inhibiting germination of other plants. Aim to plant in staggered groups as opposed to solid blocks. This not only confuses a lot of the pests, but also acts as an isolation ward. If one population gets attacked, then there'll be another one there left free. Other great companions are nitrogen-fixing plants like this pea in the legume family. Legumes have nodes on their root systems that convert atmospheric nitrogen into a form available to other plants growing with them. They also have a deep root system which aids aeration in soil. The shape of some plants and their flowers can visually confuse pests, making it very hard for them to hone in on their target species. Other plants, particularly herbs, release strong smelling odours from their leaves. This again confuses the pest species, making it increasingly difficult for them to hone in on their targets. While there are classic companion combinations, the important thing to keep in mind is diversity. Increasing the diversity of your plant life goes to increase the diversity of your microorganisms, your insects and everything else that comes to live in your garden. Increase the diversity of your flower form. Have lots of umbral-shaped flowers like perennial statice or dill or coriander in flower. These are great habitat and feeding for very beneficial predator insects. Consider the pollinators as well. Plant lots of simple flowers like daisy-shaped flowers like bellis and echinacea, or things like sweet alyssum. Some examples of companion planting combination is the classic of basil and tomatoes. Not only great in the kitchen, but the basil helps repel a lot of insects that like to attack your tomatoes. It also attracts bees, which helps pollination and, in the long term, the flavour of your tomatoes. Garlic is a great companion for lots of plants. It is a very strong deterrent to insects such as aphids, which affect over 400 plant species, so it can be planted in rows between potatoes, lettuces, cabbages, or near your fruit trees. Nasturtiums attract hungry caterpillars away from brassica like cabbage and broccoli and kale, so grow these pretty flowers close to those crops. Nasturtiums also lure blackfly away from fava beans, and planted underneath apples deter codling moth. You may ask where to begin. Don't get too fixated on pairing up crop with crop. Just aim to add to the overall diversity in your garden. Start small. Use some small marigolds in your tomato patch. Plant some zinnias for colour and to attract pollinators. Calendula, nasturtium, basil and borage are all good options to start with. These flowers reduce your pest population and you'll enjoy watching the bees and butterflies flock to your garden. In summary, the secrets to companion planting are avoid planting in solid monoculture blocks, practice crop rotation to reduce soil-borne pest and disease, to confuse pests using camouflage and competing fragrance, to include flowering plants to attract beneficial insects, and remember to plant a decoy crop away from your vegetable garden to act as a sacrificial crop. Companion planting not only aids in plant health, it also adds abundance and beauty to your vegetable garden.